Dr. Miguel Stanley, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know this is going to be your first time in Boston, so I want to give you the biggest Yankee Dental welcome I could possibly give you. Can you tell us what most excites you about this event?
Well, first and foremost, I'm incredibly excited to be, for what I've heard, is the most amazing meeting, this Yankee Dental. I'm overwhelmed with the feedback that I've got from all of my colleagues congratulating me for being able to attend this incredible event. But Boston is the city of education and science. It's probably the center of the world of knowledge. So to be able to come there and share the work that we've been doing here in our clinic in Portugal with you guys is just such a privilege. And I'm really excited to sit with you all and also to learn from you all, because the lineup of speakers you have there and the trade show and all of the science and technology is phenomenal. So I'm just so thrilled to be there with you all.
We are thrilled to have you. Now, I understand your courses will cover consumers driving change to no half smiles, slow dentistry to minimally invasive digital dentistry, this is the one I love, immune-focused dentistry and our role in systemic health. Please share with us how these topics will benefit both new grads and seasoned dentists, such as myself, older dentists.
Well, I've been lecturing for 20 years now. I've lectured in over 54 countries. I lectured for the American Dental Association in San Francisco in 2019. And I'm very passionate about sharing my love for dentistry for all ages. And I do have a background in television as well. And I think that more than anything, we have to tell a story that hits all demographics, all areas of intervention. So dentistry shouldn't be so segmented and compartmentalized, because at the end of the day, we all want one thing. We want to be successful at our job. That's not just financial, that's also emotionally. We want to hit the pillow at night feeling good about the work. We know stress levels are through the roof. So slow dentistry is like, hey, how can I make money seeing fewer patients a day, but doing great dentistry and sticking to the ethical code of do no harm with my patients? How do I separate that, and where do I where do I draw lines between science and marketing? And so I'm going to be sharing a lot of stories with patients about that. Also, how technology is really revolutionizing what we can do in diagnostics, treatment planning, and execution, from software, hardware, and new biomaterials. It's an amazing world out there. And for all of the people that, and all of those folk on the trade show that are bringing all that tech, we'll be covering everything. There's nothing that we do not use here at the White Clinic. It's like a startup of the future. And I want to share what we're seeing with you guys. Moreover, we also want to talk about how consumers are getting smarter. So think of this. Consumers are now understanding that when they go to the supermarket, they don't want chemicals and pesticides. They're buying smarter food. They're understanding, mostly driven also by a lot of podcasters out there and biohacking and new ways of staying healthy. It's not just going to the gym. It's so many things. And how does a dental practice and a dentist, how can they benefit from this tidal wave of healthcare that's taking over the world, and lifestyle changes that are happening in our world? And how can we leverage that marketing in our practices, turning in our dental clinic from a dental clinic into a healthcare center? And also understanding the difference between sick care and health care, not just treating tooth disease, but also promoting longevity, huge buzzword. And that will lead me to the last course on Saturday afternoon on how we need to stop just thinking about mechanics, aesthetics, orthodontics, bridge work, implants. I love all of that. But how can we also, at the point of care, improve our patients' systemic healthcare and their immune system? Let's understand something. A tooth is embedded in bone. Bone has bone marrow, and that is the center of our immune system. And if you don't understand that, and if you've forgotten it, let's learn again about that, and how we can understand how just testing vitamin D can boost your patient's immune systems. All of these things can be monetized, make you a better doctor, and get you ready for this new age of dentistry, which I think is still the best is yet to come, which is crossing over from staying in that Cartesian divide of just being mechanically driven, aesthetically driven, and now coming into healthcare as well. It's time for dentists to have a seat at the table of healthcare and join dentists and doctors and break down that wall and connect everybody and help our patients not just have beautiful smiles, but live longer, live better, and let's all take advantage of that. And I'm coming to Boston to share all of that with you over the 4 days. And if you get to catch all 4 courses, you will have a beautiful listener's train of thought through everything, and it will be an emotional roller coaster and a lot of fun, and there'll be nothing boring, I promise you.
Miguel, you touched upon so many important topics, innovative topics. I'm going to ask you a tough question. That is, what would you say are the top 3 passions you have for dentistry today?
Ethics. Ethics being following the science and not the sales. Choosing science-based, evidence-based treatment protocols over making a buck. And that means sometimes you don't get to make a buck. Focusing on the right things. And I think that a dentist, above all things, has to be a lighthouse in his community and has to be a doctor. And, you know, nobody really likes that conversation when it's like, oh, you're not a doctor, you're just a dentist. Well, hey, let's elevate dentistry and let's be better healthcare providers. So I'm very focused on ethics. The second thing is integrative dentistry. What does that mean? It means connecting everything also to the teeth. There's more innovation between your teeth and your brain, your teeth and your immune systems than we remember. We just forgot about it. Let's learn about that. What if we forgot that teeth might be more important in our systemic healthcare and mechanics than you can imagine? I treat some of the world's most highest paid athletes and high performance athletes, and you'd be surprised at these peak performing athletes, that the ones that have low vitamin D, that have bad occlusion, and that have some inflammation don't have the longevity in the game as those that have everything taken care of. So the science is there. How do we exact that? How do we get more compliance from our patients? So that leads me to the third thing I'm passionate about, is communicating dentistry better to the masses. It's such an insular profession. We've got such a bad reputation. Hollywood portrays the dentist as always being this lonely, stressed out person with outdated technologies from last century, always stressed. That's not dentistry. Dentistry is awesome. Dentistry is not stressful. It's only stressful if you don't have a good plan, if you don't have the right technologies and tools, and your guiding light, the beacon of what you're trying to achieve, is only money. And if that's your guiding light, we've got to change that. I think the golden age of dentistry is yet to come. And I hope I can inspire some people. Even if one person to change, that's already good.
Miguel, you are an international dental celebrity. You were featured on National Geographic's, named top 100 dentists in the world by your peers. You have a strong media presence, and as we've talked about it a few minutes ago, you're Madonna's dentist. Can you tell us a little bit about all that?
Hard work, perseverance, continuous education. There's no such thing as, find me one dentist in the world that converts their Instagram followers into therapeutics. That doesn't work. The only thing that generates longevity and success in this business is scientifically backed, evidence-based protocols and doing the right thing and having the courage to upgrade that knowledge every day, even if that disrupts the status quo. So what I'm trying to say is that dentistry has evolved so much in the last years. I was trained in implant dentistry in the late 90s. And look at what's changed in implant dentistry in the last 2 decades. It's incredible in biomaterials and bone regeneration. So I'm an implant surgeon. I have a huge practice in 3-dimensional bone reconstruction, soft tissue management, aesthetics, and the White Clinic. We have all of these tools, and I guess I'm not thinking about an exit strategy financially for myself. I'm not selling to a DSO. Not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm still very curious about the future of my profession, and I bring that game every day to the clinic, every time, that desire to be better. And I think that if you keep on focusing on something like Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours and you put in 100,000 hours, inevitably people are going to pay attention. So I'm very fortunate to have patients fly in from all over the world and have this track record, it's because I don't do anything else. I don't do dentistry so I can go and do other things. Dentistry is my hobby. It's my passion. There's these internet memes going around. Find a job that you love and never work another day in your life. I love dentistry, and I hope I can help a lot of people and folk out there in Boston also to find or rekindle the passion that they have for this, and also have a lot of fun and attract amazing patients and just improve their game.
Miguel, Yankee is all about fun, and I'm sure you will not be disappointed. I'm going to ask you a last and final question. That is, where do you see dentistry in 10 years' time?
It's a phenomenal question. It depends on where you are in the world. So dentistry is very demographically driven. So some companies need to understand, and I'm very wary of the industry, those that are making the products. So let's look at clear aligners. Okay, the clear aligner industry is clearly for the younger demographic. You can be 80 years old and have aligners. I'm not saying that, but what I'm trying to say is that certain things are for different demographics. The implant industry is probably mostly for, I'm not talking about accidents, but for Gen X and baby boomers, and late millennials. But dentistry is changing. So depending where you are in the world, and I like to think globally, not just in my neighborhood, because if you live in a rich neighborhood, you might be having a different demographic than if you were in a rural neighborhood. And I'm sure the Massachusetts Dental Society and everyone at Yankee Dental is coming from all over America, and they'll have all different types of demographics with all different types of desires and pockets. And so how do we create dentistry for everybody? And I think that something that really needs to happen is that the consumer, patient, needs to understand and to have some ownership and become a stakeholder in dentistry, understanding more about what's on offer. Think about it. If I were to say Apple, humanity, everybody in America knows something about who founded it and what it does and what they sell. But if I were to say Carestream Dental or Invisalign or whatever, they're like, nobody knows anything about it. So all those folk in the trade show that are spending millions of dollars a year on developing and bringing to market amazing technology are not speaking to the end user, which isn't the dentist, it's the patient. And there's 400 million of them in America. Let's bring dentistry to the consumer. And I think that dentistry needs to stop being so insular, and people have to stop worrying about the competition. There's enough to go around. We need to show how good dentistry can change the face of our changing demographic population. People have different needs. You've got people with great teeth that know nothing about implant dentistry and will never need it. And like, it's boring. And I'll tell you, you spoke about National Geographic. National Geographic, when I pitched the TV show to them, and by the way, I'm the first and only dentist to ever do a documentary with National Geographic on dentistry. And when I tried to pitch it to them, they're like, dentistry is boring. And then what I understood was that the producer had never needed complex dentistry. For him, dentistry was boring. And then I showed him cases of, really people that had lost their careers and lives because of badly executed dentistry or the lack of it, and showed him how we could change that. In his brain, he didn't even know it existed. So we need collectively, and organizations like yours need to change the way we're communicating dentistry to the market. Not about the money, but how it can change your life. And I think all dentists around the world, not just in the USA, not just part of the Massachusetts Dental Society, all universities need to change that mindset. We need to get out of our boxes, out of our comfort zones, and change everybody's perception of dentistry and how extraordinary it is. So I'm preaching from the hills as loud as I can, and I hope I can get some more people that understand we've got to turn our patients, not into patients, into fans, into stakeholders, so they go out and they can share great experiences. And we know there's a lot of bad players, a lot of bad actors out there, and I know none of them are going to be at the MDS, at the Yankee Dental. So hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun and science and education and personal experience, and also, spiritually understand that we've got a great opportunity to just do something amazing. And I'm really happy to come to see you guys.
Thank you so much for reinvigorating and bringing this new energy into dentistry. It's people like you that gives us all hope. And I look forward to seeing you at Yankee, physically shaking your hand. And thank you so much for coming to Yankee. Go Yankee.
Go Yankee. Thank you so much. Just a big shout out to all the amazing friends that I have in the US that have texted me. Thanks to your great social media presence and marketing. And I know a lot of people that are traveling to Boston to come and see this. And I hope I get to jump out of my lessons and also go to the trade show. The floor looks amazing. You got everybody there, everybody from A to Z. So congratulations on all of your efforts to what is one of the best organizations I've ever seen. So thank you so much, Abe, for your team, your kindness, your generosity, and let's have a great time in Boston. See you there.